The mountain peak was shrouded in mist as our ragtag group of adventurers ventured into the unknown, guided only by the whispers of legends surrounding the forgotten mountain temple. The air was thick with anticipation, and our steps echoed against the ancient stones that paved the way to an ominous revelation. We had heard tales of this temple hidden high in the mountains, a place where the spirits of the ancients lingered, their stories etched in faded murals that adorned the temple walls. Despite the ominous warnings, the allure of lost treasures and untold secrets propelled us forward, our curiosity drowning out the subtle hesitations that gnawed at the edges of our minds. The journey was arduous, the trail winding through treacherous terrain that seemed untouched by time. As we ascended, the mist clung to our clothes, seeping into our bones like a silent reminder of the mysteries that awaited us. The air was heavy with the scent of damp earth, and a sense of foreboding loomed over us, growing more palpable with each step. The temple emerged from the mist like a spectre from the past, its grandeur obscured by centuries of neglect. Faded murals adorned the walls, depicting scenes of forbidden rituals and ancient gods with eyes that seemed to follow our every move. It was as if the temple itself held its breath, waiting for the moment when the balance would tip and the forgotten secrets would be unleashed. Ignoring the warnings, we delved deeper into the heart of the temple, guided by the flickering flames of ancient torches that lined the corridors. The air became thicker, suffused with an energy that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. It was as if the temple was awakening from a long slumber, aware of our intrusion. We reached a chamber at the temple's core, adorned with a mysterious altar bathed in an otherworldly glow. It was here that we uncovered the treasures we sought, ornate artifacts and jewels that sparkled in the dim light. Greed overcame caution, and we celebrated our discovery, oblivious to the ancient eyes that observed our every move. As our jubilation echoed through the temple, an ethereal voice resonated in the chamber, carrying with it the weight of centuries. The ancient deity had awakened, angered by our intrusion and the disturbance of its sacred domain. Whispers of a demand reached our ears, a demand for a sacrifice to appease the deity's wrath and restore its former glory. Panic set in as we realized the gravity of our situation. The temple, once dormant, now seemed alive with a vengeful force that sought retribution for our trespass. Shadows danced on the walls, and the air thickened with an unseen presence, suffocating us with the impending doom that hung in the balance. Desperation fueled our attempts to escape the temple, but the corridors twisted and turned, trapping us within the ancient labyrinth. Each step felt like a descent into madness, the whispers of the ancients growing louder, urging us to fulfill the demand and quell the deity's rage. The realization struck that we were pawns in a cosmic game, victims of our own insatiable desires. In our pursuit of wealth and knowledge, we had unleashed a force that transcended time itself, a force that demanded sacrifice to restore the balance disrupted by our reckless curiosity. As the temple walls closed in around us, we faced a choice: succumb to the wrath of the ancient deity or offer one among us as the sacrificial lamb. Fear and guilt gnawed at our sanity as we confronted the harsh reality that some secrets were better left buried in the depths of forgotten mountains. The air grew colder, and the flickering torches cast eerie shadows on the temple walls. We stood at the precipice of a decision that would seal our fates. In the end, the sacrifice was made, a soul offered to the ancient deity in a desperate bid to appease the wrath we had unleashed. As the sacrifice was consumed by the ethereal glow of the altar, a profound silence descended upon the temple. The whispers of the ancients faded away, and the air became crisp and invigorating once more. It was as if the temple had returned to its slumber, sated by the price paid for our trespass. We emerged from the forgotten mountain temple, changed and haunted by the ordeal. The treasures we carried now felt like burdens, each gleaming artifact a reminder of the cost of our insatiable curiosity. The mist that had shrouded the mountain peak dispersed, revealing a landscape forever altered by the echoes of ancient wrath. The tale of the forgotten mountain temple became a whispered legend, a cautionary tale told around campfires to those who dared seek the unknown. The mountain air, once thick with mystery, now bore the weight of a solemn secret, a secret hidden in the shadows of a temple that would forever be etched in the annals of time. The descent from the mountain was laden with an eerie silence, the weight of the sacrificial choice lingering among us like a haunting spectre. The once boisterous group now walked in solemnity, haunted by the memory of the ancient deity's demands and the price paid to appease its wrath. The journey back to civilization was marked by an unspoken understanding that the events within the temple were to remain shrouded in secrecy. The artifacts we carried, once symbols of our triumph, now felt like cursed relics, each whispering the forgotten echoes of the deity's demands. The air, no longer thick with mist, seemed to echo with the spectral laughter of the ancients. Every rustle of leaves and creak of branches carried with it a reminder that some paths, once tread upon, could never be retraced. The shadows of the temple clung to our souls, darkening the very essence of who we were. As the days passed, the weight of the sacrificial act pressed upon our minds. Sleep became elusive, haunted by dreams of ethereal voices and ancient murals that seemed to come alive in the darkness. The boundary between reality and nightmare blurred, leaving us in a perpetual state of unease. The tale of the forgotten mountain temple lingered like a ghost in our midst, a story told in hushed tones to confidants who dared to believe the unbelievable. Our experiences became a shared burden, a secret society bound by the knowledge that some stories were too chilling to be shared with the uninitiated. The artifacts, once coveted treasures, held a strange allure that seemed to draw us back to the memories of that forsaken temple. Each item carried with it the energy of the sacrificial offering, a constant reminder that the ancients demanded their due, and we were forever bound by the choices made in that desolate chamber. The group, now fractured by the weight of guilt and unspoken understanding, dispersed into the shadows of normalcy. Some sought solace in isolation, while others attempted to drown the echoes of the past in the mundane routine of everyday life. Yet the temple's influence lingered, an indelible mark on the fabric of our existence. Nights became a battleground between the desire to forget and the haunting memories that refused to be buried. The whispers of the ancients seemed to echo in the wind, and the walls of our homes became permeable, allowing the unseen forces of the temple to seep into our reality. In the quiet corners of our minds, the question lingered: had we truly escaped the clutches of the ancient deity, or were we forever tethered to the sacrificial pact made in the heart of the forgotten mountain temple? The line between sanity and madness blurred, and the spectre of the past became an ever-present companion. Years passed, and the tale of the forgotten mountain temple became a distant memory, a story shared only among those who had lived through the ordeal. The artifacts, once symbols of triumph, were locked away, hidden from prying eyes, as if sealing away the remnants of a past that could never be fully comprehended. Yet the mountain stood as a silent witness to the events that unfolded within its ancient walls. The mist returned, shrouding the peak in a veil of secrecy, and the whispers of the ancients continued to echo through the corridors of time, a reminder that the forgotten could never truly be silenced. The survivors, scattered and haunted, carried the weight of the temple within them, a burden that transcended the physical realm. The tale of the forgotten mountain temple became a cautionary whisper, a warning to those who sought to unravel the mysteries of the past. A reminder that some secrets were better left undisturbed. And so, the mountain air remained crisp and invigorating, concealing the ancient secrets that lay dormant within the forgotten mountain temple. The echoes of our choices lingered in the shadows, a testament to the thin veil that separated the tangible world from the ethereal realm of forgotten deities and the sacrifices demanded to appease their wrath.